Hello drama lovers, welcome back to my channel. Breaking news. What if the story everyone thought was fading is actually just beginning as Zhao Jinmai is spotted getting closer to a rising new actor? Fans are asking one question louder than ever: why does Zhang Linghe still seem quietly present in her world, and what if the distance between them was never really distance at all in the ever-evolving world of C-drama romance rumors? Few names spark as much emotion as Zhang Linghe and Zhao Jinmai. Their chemistry, soft, natural, almost cinematic, has always felt like something that couldn't be easily explained. It wasn't loud. It wasn't forced. It just lingered. Recently, however, everything seemed to shift. Zhao Jinmai has been gaining attention for her interactions with a newer actor, someone fresh, charming, and quickly rising in popularity. Behind-the-scenes clips, casual moments, and subtle exchanges began circulating online, igniting curiosity. Fans started to wonder, is this the beginning of something new? But here's where things get complicated. Because while the spotlight moved toward this new connection, Zhang Linghe never truly disappeared from the narrative. In fact, observant fans noticed something different: not absence, but subtle presence. No dramatic gestures, no public claims, just quiet, consistent signs. Moments like synchronized schedules at similar events, familiar glances caught on camera, and that unmistakable comfort when they're in the same space, something that doesn't need to be performed. It raises a question that's hard to ignore. Is Zhao Jinmai really moving on? Or is there a deeper story we're not seeing yet? And just when fans thought they understood the situation, new details began to surface, leading us into an even more intriguing possibility. What makes this situation so captivating isn't just who Zhao Jinmai is seen with, it's how different her energy feels depending on who she's with. With the new actor, everything appears light, fresh, almost playful. It's the kind of interaction that easily draws attention, especially in an industry that thrives on new pairings and viral moments. Their chemistry is noticeable. Yes, but it feels like the beginning of a story still being written. But with Zhang Linghe, it's something else entirely. Their dynamic carries a quiet depth, the kind that doesn't rely on constant interaction to be felt. Fans have pointed out how even the smallest moments between them, shared smiles, brief eye contact, subtle body language, carry an emotional weight that's hard to fake. And here's where speculation intensifies. Insiders and fan communities have begun discussing the possibility that Zhang Linghe and Zhao Jinmai have chosen to keep things low-key. Not distant but private. Not disconnected but careful. Because in an industry where every glance becomes a headline, sometimes the strongest connections are the ones protected from the spotlight. At the same time, Zhao Jinmai's closeness with the new actor could be exactly what it seems: a professional bond, a friendship, or even just part of ongoing projects. But the contrast between that openness and her quieter dynamic with Zhang Linghe only fuels the mystery. So the real question becomes, are we witnessing a shift in her heart, or just a different side of her world? And as more moments continue to unfold, one thing becomes increasingly clear: the story is far from over. What keeps fans emotionally invested isn't just the possibility of romance, it's the feeling that something real exists beneath the surface. Zhang Linghe has always carried a calm, composed presence. He's not known for chasing attention or feeding rumors. And yet, in moments involving Zhao Jinmai, there's a subtle change, something softer, more attentive, almost unspoken. Zhao Jinmai, on the other hand, is navigating a phase of growth. New projects, new co-stars, new opportunities. It's natural for her to connect with different people, to explore new dynamics. But even in that evolution, there are traces of familiarity that seem to lead back to one person. And fans can feel it. Across social media, Discussions aren't just about who she's with but about how she feels. Because sometimes, the strongest connections aren't the ones constantly shown, but the ones that quietly remain. Could it be that Zhang Linghe and Zhao Jinmai are choosing timing over exposure, or is this simply a story of two people moving in different directions while still holding onto something unspoken? Either way, the emotional tension is undeniable. And it's exactly this uncertainty that keeps fans watching, waiting, and hoping. And as we reach this point, one thing becomes certain: truth isn't something we'll be told directly. It's something we'll have to feel through the moments they leave behind. In a world where relationships are often defined by headlines, what Zhang Linghe and Zhao Jinmai share feels different. It's not loud. It doesn't demand attention. But somehow, it stays. Maybe that's why fans can't let go. Because deep down, this isn't just about who Zhao Jinmai is seen with right now. It's about the connection that never fully fades, no matter how the story shifts on the surface. The laughter with someone new might be real. The chemistry might be genuine. But there's something about history, about shared moments and quiet understanding that can't be replaced so easily. And perhaps that's the beauty of it. Not every story needs to be confirmed to be felt. Not every relationship needs a label to matter. Sometimes, the most meaningful connections exist in the spaces between what is shown and what is simply understood. So whether this is a story of timing, distance, or something still waiting to bloom, one thing remains unchanged. People are still watching Zhang Linghe and Zhao Jinmai, not because they have to, but because something about them feels real. And in the end, that's what makes this story impossible to forget. If you can still feel their connection too, tell me, are you team still something there or time to move on? And don't forget to subscribe. Because the story, it's not over yet.